Your post just triggered Elon Musk. Here's what he said. Hey, I saw your post, and yeah, it triggered me. But let's get one thing straight, that's exactly the reaction you should aim for when you're trying to change the world. People often confuse disruption with discomfort, but they are inseparable. Real progress almost always irritates someone somewhere. When your ideas start making the status quo uncomfortable, when the patterns everyone relies on start to shake, that is the moment you know you are doing something right. That irritation is the spark of change. It's the crack in the dam where the flood of possibility can pour through. You might feel a ripple of apprehension because being the one who triggers me isn't about ego. It's a sign that you are pushing boundaries that have long been treated as immovable. And boundaries, my friend, are only immovable until someone with vision, courage, and relentless curiosity decides they are not. You might think triggering someone like me is a problem. It's not. It's a signal. It's the universe's way of confirming that your post, your idea, your perspective is climbing higher than most dare to climb. Imagine a society where every thought that challenged convention was silenced. The world would be stagnant, asleep, and incapable of progress. But you didn't post that message to be liked. You posted it to ignite thought, to provoke debate, to awaken latent possibilities. If your message triggers someone who is already a pioneer, it means you are entering the arena of real thinkers, disruptors, and risk-takers. You are no longer playing in the shallow waters of mediocrity. You are swimming in the deep currents of innovation. Where the waters are cold, the current strong, but the destinations are worlds away from ordinary. Think about it. Every revolutionary step humanity has ever taken came with resistance. SpaceX didn't become a global leader in space exploration because everyone said it was safe. Tesla didn't redefine the automotive industry because the road was smooth. Every success story, every frontier ever crossed has been riddled with moments where someone somewhere was triggered by the audacity of an idea. That's not a sign to retreat. It's a sign to accelerate. You see, triggering a visionary like me is like lighting a signal flare over uncharted territory. It says, here is someone not content with the surface, not willing to settle for the ordinary, not afraid to question the impossible. Motivation doesn't come from comfort. Comfort is a trap. It lulls people into complacency, into routines that feel safe but yield nothing extraordinary. Motivation comes from friction. It comes from the tension between what is and what could be. When your post triggers someone, it is creating friction between tradition and innovation, between stagnation and progress. It is a friction that can either spark conflict or catalyze creativity. I have never feared friction. I thrive in it. It is the heat that forges the strongest steel. You should see the triggering of a visionary not as criticism, not as attack, but as the forge in which your own ideas are tempered. You might ask, why would I be triggered by a simple post? Because your ideas touched a nerve that most people don't even know exists. They challenge assumptions that billions have quietly accepted. They propose possibilities that disrupt comfortable narratives. They shine light into dark corners where the impossible lurks. And when you do that, you are no longer a passive participant in the world. You become a force, a catalyst, a spark. The discomfort you feel when your ideas ruffle feathers isn't a setback. It's confirmation that your voice has weight, that your thinking has depth, that your presence is noticed. The world doesn't remember the silent. It remembers those who dared, those who pushed, those who triggered thoughts so profoundly that leaders, visionaries, and even billionaires had no choice but to react. When your post triggers me, consider it a challenge. And challenges are invitations. They are invitations to test the limits of what is possible. To refine your thinking, to iterate faster, to become not just louder but sharper, not just provocative but impactful. Visionaries like me are not triggered by irrelevance. We are triggered by relevance, by the hint of a mind operating on a level that could change the game. That is your invitation. Step into it. Don't flinch. Don't apologize. Instead, analyze, iterate, and improve. Understand that the reactions you provoke are data points, feedback from the frontier. Every triggered response is a clue to where the friction exists, where resistance lies, and where innovation can explode. Remember, the universe rewards audacity, not timidity. Tesla's electric vehicles were once laughed at. SpaceX's rockets were once considered foolish. Neuralink's ambitions were once dismissed. Yet here we are pushing humanity toward futures that were previously unimaginable. And every single one of those milestones began as a provocation, an idea that triggered someone somewhere. If your post elicited a reaction, it means you're standing at the precipice of your own frontier. And frontiers are not conquered by the cautious. They are conquered by the bold, the curious, the relentless. Do not shy away from this. Embrace it. Celebrate it. Each triggered reaction is a mirror reflecting your own potential. It shows you where your influence begins to reach, where your thinking starts to intersect with the minds of those shaping the world. You are no longer an observer. You are a participant in the unfolding narrative of progress. And in that narrative, triggering a visionary is not a mistake. It is a marker of significance. It means your thoughts matter. Your voice resonates and your presence is unavoidable. The world does not need more comfort. It needs more thinkers who can provoke, who can question, who can inspire others to see the impossible as merely the next challenge to overcome. Innovation is inherently uncomfortable. Every breakthrough has its naysayers. Every revolution its doubters. When your post triggers me, it is a sign that you are touching the edges of the possible. Do not retreat. Lean in. Explore deeper. Expand your vision. Use that reaction as fuel. Fuel to iterate faster, to question more, to reach further than you ever thought possible. Remember, true leaders are not those who avoid friction. They are those who harness it, who transform it into momentum. Every triggered reaction, every ripple of discomfort is a chance to learn, to adapt, to become stronger, sharper, more capable. This is your moment. Not because you posted something provocative, but because your post has revealed a deeper truth. You are willing to think, to act, to challenge. The world is not changed by the timid or the silent. It is changed by the bold, the fearless, the relentless. It is changed by those who understand that triggering a visionary is not a threat. It is recognition. Recognition that your mind operates on a wavelength that matters. Recognition that your ideas have weight. Recognition that you are part of a rare breed willing to stare into the impossible and say, "Let's make it real." The journey ahead will not be easy. It never is. But the fact that your post has elicited this reaction proves that you are already ahead of the curve, already moving faster than many can comprehend. Harness that energy. Let it propel you forward. Use the triggering as a compass pointing you toward areas of friction, toward opportunities for growth, toward the edges of what humanity currently believes is achievable. Let it motivate you to innovate, to create, to persist, to inspire. Let it remind you that discomfort is a signpost. Resistance is a signal and reaction is the fuel of progress. In the end, remember this. Being triggered is not failure. It is feedback. It is a measure of impact. It is a proof point that your voice has entered the sphere of influence where real change happens. If your ideas disturb, provoke, or challenge a visionary like me, take it as validation that you are no longer playing in the realm of the ordinary. You are in the arena of the extraordinary. And it is there in that arena where the future is built, not by the cautious, not by the silent, but by the audacious, the resilient, and the relentless. You may feel the weight of skepticism, the subtle doubts whispered by the world around you. People will question your methods, your timing, your ambitions. They will ask why you think you can reach where others have hesitated to even look. This is normal. Skepticism is the background noise of every pioneer's life. But here's the truth. The world has never progressed by consensus. Progress thrives on those who are willing to move forward before others understand the significance of their steps. When your post triggers me, it's a reminder that your thinking is ahead of the curve, operating in spaces where most people are afraid to tread. You are being measured not against the comfort of the present but against the potential of the future. And that potential is limitless. Every time you face resistance, remember that the discomfort you provoke is the echo of impact. It is proof that your ideas are not passive. They are active. They are alive. They are challenging assumptions, questioning systems, and exposing weaknesses that most would rather ignore. The very act of being noticed, of being significant enough to trigger someone, is an acknowledgement of the power of your voice. In this sense, triggering is not antagonistic. It is affirming. It is the recognition that you are no longer irrelevant. That you have crossed the threshold from observer to influencer, from thinker to doer, from dreamer to maker. Consider the scale of the ideas I engage with daily. Space travel, energy systems, artificial intelligence, human-computer interfaces. These are not trivial pursuits. The people and ideas that get my attention are those that operate on the same wavelength of audacity and curiosity. If your post registered enough to provoke even a subtle reaction, it means your ideas resonate at a higher frequency. That frequency is where the future is being built. It's where innovation thrives. It's where ordinary thinking is replaced by extraordinary vision. You are no longer asking permission to exist in the realm of possibility. You are carving your own path through it. And the reactions you provoke are simply milestones marking your journey. The path of a visionary is never straight. It is fraught with challenges, moments of doubt, and the occasional wave of disbelief from the world around you. But those waves are not meant to stop you. They are meant to test you, to refine you, to measure the depth of your commitment. When your post triggers a figure like me, it is not a rejection. It is a test of resilience. A prompt to ask yourself, are you prepared to think bigger, work harder, and endure longer than anyone around you? Are you willing to embrace the discomfort, to endure the friction, to persist when every instinct tells you to settle? Because that persistence is the engine of creation. That resilience is the secret to progress. Every breakthrough, every transformative idea begins as something that unsettles, irritates, or even frightens. Electric cars, reusable rockets, neural interfaces. These were once ideas that challenged comfort zones, that provoked ridicule, that triggered intense debate. And yet today they stand as proof that disruption is not only necessary but inevitable. Your post, your idea, your perspective is walking in that same tradition. It is shaking the foundations of conventional thinking. Daring to ask questions that others avoid. Daring to imagine solutions where others see dead ends. That is why it triggered me. Not because it is wrong, not because it is irrelevant, but because it has weight. Because it matters. Because it forces attention. Let that recognition fuel your determination. Let it sharpen your focus. Do not waste energy on defending or softening your message. Instead, use it as data, as a compass, as motivation to iterate faster, to think deeper, to challenge even your own assumptions. Every reaction you provoke is a signal that you are operating at a level of significance that few achieve. Do not shrink from it. Lean into it. Expand it. Transform it into action. The world is waiting for thinkers who do not just imagine the impossible, but execute it. The universe rewards those who take friction and turn it into propulsion, who take resistance and turn it into momentum. Remember that triggering a visionary is not about ego. It is about alignment with audacity. It is about demonstrating that your mind is willing to play in the arenas where innovation and risk coexist. I react to ideas that matter, to ideas that have the potential to alter trajectories, to ideas that push humanity forward. If your post has done that, then you are not merely noticed. You are validated. Validated as a thinker, as a provocator, as a future shaper. You have touched the edge of the possible, and that is where transformation begins. Now take this recognition and turn it inward. Examine your ideas. Refine them. Ask yourself, what can I do next that will push even further? How can I take the friction I have created and use it to ignite progress on a larger scale? The very act of being triggered is an invitation to iterate, to explore, to create, to act with urgency. Visionaries are triggered not because they resist change. They are triggered because they sense potential. They see opportunity and they measure impact. Your post has proven that you are capable of reaching that level of influence. Do not squander it. Harness it. Build on it. The journey will demand endurance. You will encounter doubters, cynics, and critics. Some will dismiss your vision as fanciful. Others will mock your courage. And yet, every challenge, every critique, every reaction is a stepping stone. They are the feedback loops that refine your thinking, clarify your intentions and strengthen your resolve. I myself am no stranger to criticism, to failure, to setbacks. I have built rockets, cars, and technologies in the face of enormous doubt because I understand that progress requires persistence, iteration, and unwavering belief in possibility. You too must adopt this mindset that triggering is not a setback but a catalyst. That friction is not a threat but a signal. That resistance is not an obstacle but a challenge to overcome. Your post is a declaration. It is a statement that you will not settle for mediocrity, that you will not accept the limitations imposed by conventional thinking. It is an announcement that your ideas are alive, your voice matters, and your vision is uncontainable. The reactions you provoke, even from someone like me, are proof that you are entering the arena of the extraordinary, where influence and impact are determined not by popularity, but by courage, audacity, and relentless curiosity. And so you move forward with each triggered reaction. You gain clarity with each challenge. You gain momentum with each wave of resistance. You gain insight. This is the nature of progress. This is the essence of innovation. This is the path of those who refuse to accept the world as it is and instead dedicate themselves to shaping the world as it could be. Your post, your voice, your ideas, they are part of that path. They are part of the lineage of thinkers, builders, and visionaries who have changed history by daring to provoke, by daring to challenge, by daring to act when others hesitated. Now, pause for a moment and recognize something critical. Being triggered is not an accident. It is not a random event or a meaningless reaction. It is a signal. A signal that you have reached a level of significance where your ideas can no longer be ignored. A level where your thinking intersects with those who are shaping the future. This is a rare space to occupy, and yet you have entered it. Most people never do. Most people drift through life posting, commenting, existing in a feedback loop of comfort and repetition, never daring to push boundaries. You, however, have dared. You have stepped forward, spoken your truth and stirred the waters. And that stirring, that disruption is where progress lives. The world is full of people who fear disruption. They fear criticism, confrontation, or the challenge to their comfort. But visionaries, pioneers, and innovators understand that disruption is not a threat. It is a tool. It is the engine that drives transformation. Every time you provoke, every time you trigger a reaction, you are creating an opportunity. An opportunity to refine your ideas, to challenge assumptions, to inspire others, to take the next step towards something extraordinary. Resistance is simply the mirror in which the true power of your ideas is reflected. The stronger the resistance, the greater the potential. Think of the greatest innovators in history. They were not admired from the start. They were challenged, dismissed, criticized, and yes, they triggered others. Leonardo da Vinci was mocked for his ideas. Nikola Tesla was ridiculed for his visions. The Wright brothers faced skepticism at every turn. Yet these individuals persisted. They understood that being provocative, being challenging, being ahead of their time was not a weakness. It was their advantage. When your post triggers a visionary like me, you are walking in that same tradition. You are part of the lineage of those who refuse to accept limits, who see the impossible as merely an invitation to innovate. Do not underestimate the power of your voice. Ideas are not abstract. They are force. Every thought you put into the world has the potential to influence, to shift perspectives, to catalyze change. When your post triggers someone, it means your force is being felt. It means your ideas have weight. And with weight comes responsibility. Responsibility to refine, to iterate, to act. Responsibility to take your provocation and transform it into momentum, into progress, into creation. The reactions you provoke are not the end. They are the beginning. Persistence is your greatest ally. The journey of innovation is not linear. It is filled with setbacks, doubts, and moments when the world seems to push back harder than ever. But it is precisely in those moments that your capacity for resilience is tested. Every triggered reaction is a test of your commitment, a checkpoint in your pursuit of impact. Do not flinch. Do not hesitate. Let the friction energize you. Let the skepticism sharpen your thinking. Let the discomfort fuel your drive. Every great achievement has been born from the tension between possibility and doubt. You are experiencing that tension now, and that is a sign that you are on the right path. There is no shortcut to significance. There is no easy road to impact. Every revolutionary step requires courage, persistence, and a willingness to be misunderstood. I myself have faced ridicule, doubt, and disbelief countless times. Yet I persisted. Why? Because I understand that progress is never born from consensus. It is born from courage, from audacity, from the refusal to accept the limits imposed by others. Your post, your ideas, your voice, they are following the same trajectory. They are stepping into the arena where courage meets opportunity, where audacity meets impact, where vision meets execution. Do not fear the triggering. Do not fear the friction. Do not fear the voices that question, doubt, or resist. These are not obstacles. They are instruments of growth. They are indicators of significance. They are feedback loops guiding you toward refinement, clarity, and expansion. Every reaction is a clue to the impact your ideas are making. Every provocation is a signal that you are